Avneet Chawla is an abstract artist utilizing oils, acrylics, graphite, and charcoal. Inspired by the interplay of light and shadow, her work is profoundly influenced by her career as a jewelry designer and diamond grader. She has showcased her art extensively, including the recent solo exhibition Peaky Blinders at Triveni Gallery. Noteworthy accolades include the State Art Gallery Award and the 93rd and 94th Annual All India Art Exhibition Award, as well as being a finalist in the 61st National Exhibition of Art in 2019-20.
Hi, thank you, Chaibrary, for this amazing platform, where I can share my life's journey with all of you who are watching. Being an artist is the wholesome experience, and I think I was 2 years when my father practically realized that, I'll be an artist. And then, it was my first class at the age of 2 years. And I still remember I made a cow. I have that memory, and then I was always painting. I was not interested in studies. And for that, I think I gave credit to my father because he was like, "Padhai vadhai mein kuch nahi rakha hai. You be a creative person," and always into sports and art. But then by the time we grew, and I was 17 and I was in 12th, and I was seeing all my friends are doing, different competitive exams. I was like, I don't want to be an artist. I want to be, as competitive as them. And I told my father I want to do maths honors, go to US and stuff. And my father was like, absolutely not. You're being creative, you are creative, and you're going to do something like that. I was like, okay, now the financial part, how will I make money like my other friends will make at some point? Peer pressure. So I was like, okay, then I thought of 10 other things and I chose jewelry designing as a career. Making it like, I'll have a lot of money, which I apparently did eventually. But I was never happy. 10 years I worked in the jewelry industry. I traveled the world. I made money. I bought whatever I wanted to, which was very nice, okay? But I was not happy inside out. And 10 years working in jewelry industry, I go one day to my father and I'm like, I don't want to do this at all. I want to be an artist. And I think that was the best moment my father had in his entire life. And he's like, I always told you, that you have to be an artist. So I spoke to his friends and who were from College of Art, and then I was directed to Triveni Kala Sangam. The world of art was absolutely new. I entered Triveni and I was awed by the place. I mean, I was like, what is this place? All I had seen was jewelry industry, working, traveling, everything fancy. But this world, I was totally awed. And then when I met Bruta sir, I mean, this is really funny. Since I was working at that time, and I had to drop also, okay, like completely, but I was still in a flux. And I was still doing a little bit of working as a freelancer. And I was supposed to go to Lakme Fashion Week, and I was dressed like that. I still laugh about it with him. And I went, and now that I think, I was like, it was so stupid, I went dressed like I'm going for a fashion show, and then I had to go apparently eventually later. But then when he gave me okay and I started going every single day, something in me just changed every single time I stepped into the premises of Triveni. And every day whenever, Mr. Bruta would come, sir would come and see my work, and a little thing he would say, a little thing, talk about the color or the form or anything, it used to change my perspective every single day. It was very overwhelming sometimes because everybody is a trained artist there. And I was not. I was just so new, so raw. But Bruta sir made it so good for me. He made me so comfortable. And this thing made me learn more and more. That thing to gain so much from him, that thirst to learn comes from him, seeing him. Every time he comes and sees the work and I'm like, acha, how is it looking? Is it looking okay? Kuch, dam hai kuch kaam mein, aapko lagta hai kuch aur sochna chahiye. There's a very important point of like where to end. Sometimes I miss that. And that's when he's like, khatam ho gaya hai, He's that constant pillar in my life from past 10 years. It's been beautiful. He's my first mentor, and I'm sure he's my last mentor. I think nobody can ever touch the space, where Mr. Bruta is in my life. as a teacher, as a mentor. It's just the most beautiful experience. I'm so glad that I'm an artist. You know, I wouldn't have been anything else at all, ever. Dark room में एक छोटा सा light window से आ रहा है. Oh my God, that changes the whole, feeling. That's what I see. So initial inspiration came from there, and now I see. I'm a trained jewelry designer, a gemologist, and a diamond grader. So 10 years while working in the jewelry industry, though I trained as a jewelry designer and I was supposed to design, but it so happened that I was always given managerial jobs, and I was, taking care of production of diamond jewelry. And every day I used to have a lot of diamonds in my hand, and karigars baithe hote the. I had to give jewelry to them, I had to give gold and diamonds to them. So when we sort diamonds as per their size, and we used to sort the diamonds in the sieving also, 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cent, sieve करके हम उसको black tray पे sieve करते हैं with their sizes. तो और फिर उनका क्लैरिटी देखते हैं, सब कुछ करते हैं, डायमंड्स चेक करते हैं कितना दिया है, कितना लिया है. सो एवरी डे कमिंग अक्रॉस डायमंड्स ऑन द ब्लैक ट्रे, the light, and just seeing them with the lens, so everything in nature is not perfect, like nothing is perfect in fact, so even diamonds are not perfect. So जब एक डायमंड कट करने के वक्त एक छोटे से कट ठीक से नहीं हुआ और वो छोटा सा इंक्लूजन से लाइट पास नहीं होती है, तो डायमंड में एक बो टाई फॉर्म होती है, लाइक अ मेंस टाई, दैट्स कॉल्ड बो टाई. उससे वो डायमंड में ना 2 ट्रायंगल्स नज़र आते हैं डार्क ब्लैक कलर के. सो दैट यूज टू रियली फैसिनेट मी. आप डायमंड को जितना मर्जी ऐसे ऐसे कर लो, वो बोटाई नज़र आता ही है. तो इट यूज टू रियली इंटरेस्ट मी, हाउ a little facet changes. कभी hair bow tie, कभी नहीं है. I used to love seeing that. And how when we used to see through the lens, कभी prism effect हो रहा है, light pass हो रही है, कैसे beautifully light जा रही है. So that's how light became an important aspect in my life, Girdle से light pass through हो रही है, culet, कितना thick है, the girdle, how thick is the girdle. So the peculiarities of diamond, the entering of light into the diamond on the black tree is from where my art developed when I chose to close this chapter of my life, being a diamond grader, being a designer, to an artist. And I put that in my work. That's why it's mostly black and white. There's nothing else but a small ray of light, how it changes, and with this light thing, I always just see shadows, how shadows are formed, because light पे इतना ध्यान रहता है, shadow पे इतना ध्यान रहता है. My photography is also like that. I click, कोई एक dark room में एक छोटा सा light window से आ रहा है. Oh my God, that changes the whole, feeling. That's what I see. So initial inspiration came from there, and now I see the lines, the shadows. That's where I form my compositions. That's why, the artist of light. It just can be, the little light from my lamp under my study table. That's it. It's very simple, very, very simple. And I remove everything else. Minimalism, just a small ray of light. It changes everything. Conviction, of course, conviction, one has to be like totally determined that what they want, and then they figure out. Yes, I would have been so insecure of not having a professional degree, but living these art 10 years, and then I just feel ki, okay, it's just okay. I do not have the professional education. I don't come from a college of art. It's just fine. But then, at saying the same thing, I did 2-3 courses from MoMA online, because I had this little hesitancy for sure. But then when I did that, yes, one, I did have an upper hand on a lot of new things, because I did especially on modern art and abstract. Yes, it did give me an edge. But Saying that, अगर नहीं भी किया है मैंने professional training from College of Art, it's just fine. I think I'm at a very good place, being very lucky there. So I don't feel hesitant that I don't come from this background. This, I don't know, I really couldn't figure out. I just do what I want to do. I live my life, I see things, I put it in my subconscious and I just do it. I just do it. Like, you know, I've seen a lot of works of Frank Stella's black paintings. I love them. Mr. Buta works in monochrome. I love that. Mark Rothko used to do a lot of colors, okay? And me being crazy, I used to, you know, just do Photoshop black and white and change the colors, contrast, and I would see more grays and blues. My father excelled in black and white lighting, okay? He had a thing. My father still has a thing for black and white photography. And I started going to his studio at the age of 6, okay? I would sit and I would flip through the photographs, the shoots, and you know, take out the best shots. I have done that with my father. And they were primarily my, you know, KRAs in the studio. And I think my initial black and white love came from my father. You know, when he had to shoot certain things in black and white, he would just do lighting on basis black and white. He would not be like, and he comes from the film camera era, right? Ek shot ho gaya, done ho gaya. Not like today we have Photoshop, Lightroom, everything to convert it, right? So wo special lighting karte the, black and white ki shoot hi black and white pe karte the. I think my initial love comes from my father because I always look up to my father for everything. And this leap of faith from a settled career to artist also came from my father. My father was not always a fashion photographer. He changed his field when he had me and my sister. You know, he said, no, I don't want to do this basic family business. I want to be a professional photographer, a fashion and advertising photographer. So I think that leap of faith, confidence also, one, I got it from my father. Black and white, I got it from my father. When I started painting, I did plethora of colors, you know, plethora of colors, like बहुत colors होते थे. But slowly, I think as I learned more and more about art, the maturity, you know, I started having in my work, I started becoming minimal to black. And I was like, there's nothing like black. Black is the most beautiful color. And there are no shades of grey in between for me. I just feel it's the most beautiful thing that I have come across, black and a little white to it. That's it. I just see things like that. They're very simple. Art is very simple. For me, life is very simple. And that's why the colors are very simple to me. Black and white. That's it. Outside world has a major relationship with art. You know, they coexist. One cannot exist without the other. Everything that we work on comes from people around it, you know, the feelings, the architecture, everything. Like, isolation mein nahi hoga art, it has to be with everything around it. Like, even the influences that it comes from everything around. You cannot work in isolation, you cannot learn in isolation, you cannot reflect isolation. Simple. Art and literature, both are very important to mark an era. You know, we read so much of literature, the classics. We read it because it talks about the era. We read so many artists, it talks about the era. And that's why we also need to do it. At some point, of course, you know, we must develop some body of work. Not that I believe that Sara time hi wahi kaam karna chahiye, but yes, there should be a calling that, you know, you need to reflect what society is at this point in time. It's our responsibility for sure. As an artist, as a writer, all creative forms, they need to put the era no matter what. It is the need of the hour too. It's very important. Like, you know, there is a series that I do, it's nothing, it's again white on white or black on black, and I form these textural dots on it, again like a form of a bow tie. You know, there are conical dots, and these conical dots are actually the bow ties that I see in the diamond. You know, that little imperfection in the diamond, that's the conical dots on my work, okay? And when I do these dot works, they are very spiritual works that I do, and I want to reflect peace, harmony amongst the masses. So that's my basic idea, and when I do that, that's what I want to do. And you know, these dots are 3D, they're textural, that's what I do with the paint. So you move the light and the whole game of the work changes, and that's how you attain the peace, you know. These dots, I mean, the bow ties, I wanted to create the dimensions, some dimensions. And I started doing that in oil, and I found it really the most beautiful thing. And when I started these dots on the canvas, they were largely the colors, but not the, so many colors, just, one color going to dark, black, or there was white. That's it. And these conical dots were my impression of so much so is happening, so many people. And sometimes people called it, it's like flocks of birds are going, the birds are flying in their own formation, or the ants are crawling. There were so many different interpretation to these works that I've got, but for me it's peace. And these textural dots are the game changer for me. I love it, and I try to do it in 2D, but of course no, it's not possible. So I have to create a texture. The game of light only happens with the texture. The process of creating art is evolving every single day. You cannot have one idea and work for ages on the same. So you need to improvise, you need to be more mature. Every single day it has to improvise for sure. And sometimes you change your path, you create something on that journey. So it's there, one. Two, when audience see my work, I really don't want to put any thought to what I have done. I want them to have their own thought. Well, I love it when they say exactly what I've made, but I love it when my works, it's abstract. I don't have to tell you, otherwise मुझे बताना ही होता तो मैं realistic बनाती, right? So it's not, it's abstract. So you have to feel my works as per your life state. I mean, given a choice, I would never write a word about my work. I would be like, please, you just feel free to feel my works, not just see my works. I want you to feel my works. I do not want to tell what I do. I want you to tell me what you feel with that. And it's a bang on if we both are on the same page. That's how it works for me. Okay, so these awards do mark a little validation that you are on the right track, okay? When I got the IFAX award for drawing, and oh my God, I was beyond happy. I needed that one, thing to validate. It was needed. I needed it. So this was one, and in the next few months, I got an award from State Art Gallery, Hyderabad also. So these two things happened to me at the same time. Art Heritage was interested in my works, and I did 2 shows with them. These 4 things I think really hold very close to my heart, and I think it gives me that drive to work more, to work even nicer, to be more mature in my works, to develop more works, to do good in this industry, to create something that's worth it. That's, something that I put my best to it. So post my solo in January, I was in quite a flux. What next? I was in that flux कि मुझे कुछ नया करना है, कुछ change करना है. I did so many different things and I was not happy. It was very frustrating in the initial 2-3 months that मुझे कुछ समझ ही नहीं आ रहा मुझे क्या नया करना है. And then I sat with my mentor. I discussed in length with him. I happened to even discuss the same with Mr. Tariq. He was so nice. He gave me an hour and a half. I ate his head discussing that, okay, these are the things I've done. I'm not quite happy about it. And, this conversation gave me a different outlook towards how I need to do. So I'm still continuing basis my old work, but there's something new that's coming. And printmaking is something new that I'm trying my hands on. And let's see where I go there. And it's a beautiful experience to learn a new skill. Coming back that I haven't had a professional training, so I haven't explored new mediums except charcoal and graphite and oil on canvas. This is something new, and I'm hoping to develop new series into that because, okay, I also introduced digital, works in my solo show. So yes, this is one thing that I'm working on. At the same time, there is a little thing that I want to do with my father on the collections that we have made. So we have this festival called Hola Mahalla, right? तो me and my father, my brother, in fact, we all pick up our cameras and Hula Mahalla पे हम हमेशा shoot करने जाते हैं. So this is something that I want to do eventually with my father, have a photography exhibition of both of our works. And it will be really the most amazing moment if I could do this with my father. I have never-ending love for charcoal. You know, I keep experimenting. Charcoal भी बहुत type के हैं. So I keep experimenting on the charcoal, their depth of color, their finish, their, you know, touch sensitive to papers, the graphite touch sensitive to papers. So many new materials are there. I just don't feel the need to move to another medium because it's been 5 years I've been working on that medium. I still feel that so much more that I need to know and learn, you know. Every day something new is coming up. I think I'll quite stick to my charcoal and graphite for some time. I've done oil, I've got so much, but you know, the calling came, actually this charcoal and graphite also has a story. My mom, you know, she got fracture in her spine and she was like on bed for months. And I was doing oil on canvas, huge canvas works at that time. And I was like, now being home to take care of my mom, I cannot do canvases, okay? I had papers and I was like, okay, let me start working on these papers. And I started working on these papers. And it just happened that I loved the medium so much that I haven't touched canvas in a very long time. And I'm just exploring more and more on this medium. So, I mean, it just so happened that mom's this thing led me to this, and this is what I love. This medium only came as an accident to me. Like, not even an accident, I would say. This medium came as like to save me. कि कुछ तो करना है मुझे घर पे बैठ के with taking care of my mom. It just burst from there, and I was like, okay, this is it. And I don't see it changing anytime, like anywhere. If you love art, if your itchinin is really strong that, you know, this is something that you need to do, if your focus is there that art hi karna hai, universe will make a way for you. I mean, I know it sounds very preachy, very spiritual, but that's me. My itchinin was very strong कि मुझे art ही करना है, and I attracted the right people who directed me, and I have it all, you know. So for the people who are not academically qualified but they want to be an artist, believe you me, the world is out there. You just need to put your focus at the right place. You will attract everything, and it's not like 2 and 2 is 4 in art. There are so many things, and it's a process. Your focus is there, your attention is there, you're open to learning, your skills are open, your heart is open, your mind is open to everything. You will nail it no matter what. You just need to be focused. And unlike other jobs, this requires way too much conviction and discipline in your life. If you are not disciplined, this cannot work for you. And that, you know, thirst to learn, to do, to reach at a point where you want to be, it's very important. You love art, just do art. Yeah? What do you have to think about it? That's what I think. I wanted to do art. I left everything and I just did art. I did not care about, you know, how much money my peers are making and how much I have to take from my father now. I mean, I never took even a single penny, you know, from the time I was 17, and now I do. It's okay. I love art. I'm doing it. You love art. Please do it and don't think about anything else. That's it. The platform Chaibrary, I think, is the most beautiful platform lately that I have seen. You know, how else would I hear so many artists talking about their journeys? The other day I met an artist, Chaibrary pe, he was sitting here and I just happened to meet him and I was like, oh my God, I did not know you have studied so much. What were your influences? I mean, I have met him so many times, but the depth of his work, depth of him came when he was sitting here and I heard him. And there are so many artists, I probably won't meet them, but hearing them, learning from them, the conversations, it's beautiful. It's the need, you know, because ek reels pe dekhna, I mean, how we are like 16 seconds, maybe we are like, the work is done. But it is not how it's happening in the real life. It comes from years of experience, the pain, the toil, the challenge, the mental process. And when you hear your seniors, your contemporaries talking about it, you just feel that, yeah, this is so nice. I think Chaibrary is the most amazing platform at the moment, giving, the voice to the artists who have so much to share and to give the community, give the art community, a learning, a lesson, or an acknowledgement, or a push to keep working, because it's beautiful. Couldn't have asked for more. Thank you so much for listening to me. And having this platform, Chaibrary, is amazing. I think you should subscribe it, like it, share it with your friends. The amazing stories, the amazing interviews of the previous artists who have come. There is nothing more beautiful than this platform. Please subscribe, watch, and see the journeys of the artists. It is very important for all of us to know, where these artists come from. I think it's amazing.